Hey there, welcome to my next video. In this one, I'm going to break down how to get your first customer for your moving company. And this is actually the exact process that I used to get my first customer and how I went from zero to $15,000 a month within 90 days. And I still do this exact process for my moving company. And if you don't know, I'm Caden. And I went from a broke, unemployed college dropout to making my first $15,000 month 90 days later and doing six figures my first year in business. And I'm going to break down, the first step and how I did that. So who is this video for? It's for anyone that's looking to start a moving company or home service business, or if you recently started a moving company or home service business, or if you just want to put money in the bank, this is a great way to do it. And now, who is this video not for? If you don't like money or you're lazy, don't do this, because the process I'm going to lay out is not for the weak. It's not easy, but it works, and it's a great way to stack cash. So if you don't want cash or you're lazy, just close this video and go play video games or something. So anyways, again, I'm going to be talking about a moving company because it's what I know, it's what I do, but this would work for just about any home service business. You would just have to make a few tweaks. And so for the sake of this video, I'm going to assume that if you're just starting out, you probably have these issues, a lack of capital, a lack of skills, and no digital presence, right? Because you're not an established business. And if that's you, I just want you to ask yourself, how can you reasonably expect to crack paid ads with no skills for it and a limited budget? And do you think you're going to compete on ad spend with larger companies that have deeper pockets than you, that are established? Well, without the budget or skills to successfully run paid ads, it just really doesn't make sense in the beginning. There's better ways to get your first customer. And if that's you, like, don't worry, because that was me, not that long ago. So let's talk about the solution. What is the solution to that? Well, it's don't be cute. Don't try to get all fancy on me. Do the things that other people aren't willing to do, and you'll get paid. You got to be ugly. So what does that mean? Well, this is what it means. It means door-to-door sales, door hangers, yard signs, flyers, and direct mail. These are the 5 things that we're going to do. And if you do it, you're going to get your first customer. Now, I'm going to start with door-to-door sales because it costs you nothing but time. It helps you build a relationship with the homeowner to make up for that lack of your online presence. And moving is personal. One of the things I had to learn the hard way was that you're not just selling moving services. You're selling, trust and reliability. And by building a relationship with the homeowner, you're able to do that way easier. And it's hard when you're first starting, right? Because if they look you up and there's no Google reviews, you don't really have a social media presence, and a company does, they're going to be more inclined to go with that other company. So if you go door to door and, you pitch your services and they like you and you build a relationship and you build some rapport, you're like, it's just going to help you out tremendously. And the best part about this is, when everyone thinks about door-to-door sales, they think like, oh, like I'm going to get doors slammed in my face. I'm going to get people telling me to fuck off. But that's not the case with this, because these properties are for sale. You're not just going to any door. You're going to properties that are for sale. And these are extremely warm leads because they have to move. They're selling their house. If their house sells, they have no choice but to move. Whether they're going to do it themselves or they're going to hire someone, they have to move. And people in this digital age, like, people still value face-to-face interactions, and they love to see a kid hustling. When I first started, I can't tell you how many jobs I got simply because I was out there hustling, and they just love to see a young kid getting after it. Here's a few tips for you. If you do door-to-door sales, have something that you can leave them with, some information about you and your business, a flyer, like a pamphlet, just something, a business card, because they're probably not going to hire you on the spot. And it's just good to have a reminder, because moving's a higher ticket service. So the odds that they're just going to, book you right then and there, not good. So just keep that in mind. And then you also want to go during a time when most people would be home. If you go in the middle of the day on a Monday, like most normal people have a 9 to 5 and they're working, so no one's going to answer. And then you're kind of just wasting your time. However, if no one answers, that leads me to the next thing. You need to have door hangers. Just look up a website online and make a bunch of these. They're super cheap. It's super easy to do. And anytime someone doesn't answer, you want to leave these on their door. You want each one to have, some information about your business where they can find more info, a clear call to action, and then just contact info so they know how to get a hold of you. And then the next thing is yard signs. College Hunks has 200 plus locations and they still do it. So that should say enough. That should convince you. And I know you've seen their yard signs and it's because they work. I mean, every time I travel, and even in my hometown, like anywhere I go, I see their yard signs. It's crazy. Like I don't know a company that does yard signs better than College Hunks. And if they have 200 plus locations, it obviously works. So it's worth doing, and it helps you build a local presence. Not like you want to have a digital presence as you go, but this also helps you build a local presence. Think about this. If you go and knock on a door and introduce yourself, maybe they've seen your yard sign and it's an instantly warmer lead, right? If you go knock on the door and you're like, hey, I'm Caden with this company, and they're like, oh yeah, don't you guys have that yard sign right over by whatever intersection or by this grocery store or storage facility? And you're like, yeah, that's us. Boom, they're instantly warmer. They've already seen you. They know you're a little more legit. Or another case would be you knock on the door, you introduce yourself, you pitch your services, and then a day later they're driving past, the grocery store and they see your yard sign. I'm like, oh shit, that's that kid that knocked on my door. And it's just a constant reminder. It warms them up and it just makes them a little more likely to book with you. And then some tips: you want to place it in a strategic location and always ask for permission if someone else owns the property. You don't just want to stick it in the ground and leave. Some people will not appreciate that. And make sure you're doing it in busy intersections where you're going to get the most eyeballs, storage facilities, etc. You want to do it in strategic places. You could do like a university, because every fall and spring, summer, whatever you want to call it, there's kids moving in and out. And you also want to make sure that it's concise and easy to understand, because people are either going to be walking by or driving by, and that means they're not going to be looking at it for very long. So they should be able to easily look at it, know what you do, and know how to get a hold of you. And then the next thing is flyers, and this one will be quick. It's like the same as a yard sign. My tips for you would just be to place it in a strategic location, busy stores, storage facilities, universities, concise and easy to understand. You want clear contact info and a call to action. Think about, like, I know from where I'm from, at least, grocery stores always have like these bulletin boards. Like, you can put it up there, you can put it up in universities where kids are always moving around. Again, you just want to get as many eyeballs on it as you can. And then the last one is direct mail. So you want to send direct mail to properties that are for sale, and you can pay people to do this for you. But again, I'm assuming, lack of capital. So you should do it yourself, honestly, which is what I definitely recommend in the beginning. It's what I did, and it's going to cost you less than $1 per piece of mail. So it's extremely targeted and it's extremely cheap, right? You can pay ads and try to get in front of homeowners, or you could go up on Zillow, Redfin, one of those real estate softwares, look up homes that are for sale in your area and send them a direct piece of mail, knowing that you're absolutely getting in front of the homeowner for less than $1. It's insane. Like, you can't beat that. So you should be doing this. And if you do it yourself, you can personalize each one. And while all these, moving companies are just sending, generic automated postcards, like, if you put in a little effort and you personalize it, you're going to dominate. So I highly recommend that as well. And again, leads are super warm. You're sending it to properties that are for sale. So you're going to get people to convert. Now, the main three I would focus on when you're first starting is door-to-door, door hangers, and direct mail. These three, if you do those three and you put a lot of effort and time into it, you're going to get leads and you're going to get your first job, and you're going to be able to scale. And then once you're doing that, then I would start working on yard signs and flyers, but definitely door-to-door sales, door hangers, and direct mail are going to convert very well for you. And if you do that, you're going to have lead flow. Now, before I end this video, I just want to run some numbers for you. And I'm going to use Tampa, Florida as an example. Don't know why, just random city. And it's not even that big of a city, like a population, 387,000. And just like, listen to this, is crazy. So homes sold in October were 708. Homes sold in November, 557. And keep in mind that this is in winter, so this is the slow season. And my average job here in the Midwest, where cost of living is cheaper, is about $1,500. So on average, I need 7 jobs to crack a $10,000 month. And here's a picture of my Venmo. So I got $12,000 from 5 jobs. And keep in mind that Venmo is not even my main form of payment collection. So look at this. In the month of August, right here, this is $12,000 off 5 jobs. Do you think that if you have 500 people who need to move, that you can get 5 of them to hire you? Like 500 people that need to move, can you get 5 of them? I really hope so. If that doesn't like fire you up, here's some more inspo for you. And look at this. 4,000, 3,000, 23, 14, 18, 26, 32, 12, 21. I mean, this is crazy. Like, you can absolutely do this and it'll change your life. If you get in touch with every single one of these properties, like, do you think that you can turn at least a few into customers? Moving is, in my opinion, one of the easiest sells of all time, because people need it. They either physically can't do it, or they don't want to do it. So if they have the money, they're going to hire someone else to do it because moving, it's not fun work, right? Like it's extremely physical and a lot of people can't handle that. So if you get ugly, like you're gonna get leads for your moving company or whatever home service business you start. And all it takes is a little bit of grit and consistency. You just need to put in the work, get out there and get in front of people. While everyone is busy trying to get cute, get your hands dirty and get in the trenches, put in the work. And if you do this, you're gonna understand your customers better, and you're gonna have money in the bank. So then you can afford to start running some paid ads or paying someone or an agency to do it for you. And if you do this, you're gonna have consistent lead flow, and you're gonna be able to scale your company. And how do I know? Because this is exactly how my broke, unemployed college self with zero skills had his first $15,000 month within 90 days of starting. And it's how I did six figures my first year in business. Now, with that being said, lead flow is great, but it doesn't matter if you have a million leads if you can't convert them into paying customers. But I'm going to talk about that in another video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Go do what others aren't willing to do, and I promise you, you will make money. I hope that for the 11 minutes you spent with me, you got some value in return. And that's it for this one. I will see you in the next one, and like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.